All right, as we start to look at K&E, right now we're looking at modifying really student by student or small group of student by student. So things where you might find the K&E is in a -4 kind of space, in an outreach scenario, depending on when the students come in, but really looking at a cohort model, a small group model, or very individual. So we don't have a big set of materials that say K&E, but here's how you can use the structured materials in a K&E kind of format. So the structured is basically 3 Google Docs. And these Google Docs can also be printed out. And then it's very much have a look at the beginning of each one. Now, what it does is it makes a copy, which is really good. So let's open all 3 here, show you how that looks. And each time it makes a copy, so it's the individual to that student. So then it's working through what we should do and what we shouldn't do. And the other piece that has been put together by Kim at our outreach is a guest speaker option for the financial piece or the resources piece. And the idea being that let's bring in some people in real world scenarios to talk about these different things. And you can see she's actually got a schedule here that works for her outreach, and how that might be assessed. And the reflections can be written, but they can also be oral, or it could be a group conversation, and how they engage in that and how they make it relevant for them. Because it's really about making this how it really looks at things in a real world. And that's a really way to approach K&E from that topic 2 point of view. The career section can be done similarly. You could really just talk through some pieces. But the really big, important pieces, especially when you're looking at modified outcomes, are that resume and cover letter. The other one that's really good is the workplace, because that looks at workplace safety and hazards and things like WMIS, and the resume and cover letter. So those are your big pieces for that one. And looking at a transition piece doesn't hurt at all, but that can be very personal. So made the workplace stuff very straightforward. It can be done on a Google quiz, or it can also be done here. And there's also some videos to learn about some different pieces. The QR codes are scannable, so it can be just completely done, printed out, or scanned with their phone. For the first section, there's this whole section on, there it goes, on the dimensions of wellness. And these can all be done orally. And looking at these different areas of wellness. Right now it's a written reflection. Looking at more of, kind of a structured model of the course, but they can all be done orally. And I think that's where the K&E things come through, is that whole section can be done orally. The film study is a really good one. And then a little bit of a research project, really open on the format that it can be handed in as, but looking at a strength of themselves and really looking at something that's really good about them. And that ties back in with the autobiography or at the beginning. So there's lots of different things you can do here to take it to a K&E place, but really you're looking at a guest speaker model for the second section for K&E. And then the third section, it's picking and choosing the assignments that are right for the kids, specifically around the workplace and specifically around resume and cover letter pieces. The other piece I would make sure they do is the exit interview. The exit interview being a really good lesson in knowing how to present yourself. And those questions can be completely restructured in a K&E situation, but know that that's an important piece and a really important life skill that the kids should get coaching in. So that's an important piece to include in a K&E model. So please ask more questions. We didn't make a separate doc just for K&E, but how we can use the structured pieces and take it down, especially in that financial piece here.